he had been planning this apparently for a long time because, well, there was evidence of that when on his home place they decided to move a barn, and he had carved his name.
I saw it. I
Yeah.
saw the rock that he had done. Yeah.
Nobody knew about that then, but he called himself John Allen, and his name was Johansson.
Was his first name John then? When he was in
No,
Sweden?
I believe they called him Olga, didn't they?
John
Olga Johansson.
Okay.
And he never told anybody, not even his own folks, what his plans were. And him and two others got a job on a merchant ship. And of course they skipped when they got, oh, it wasn't New Jersey.
Hoboken?
Yeah, it was New Jersey, a port. And they skipped before they even got paid. And then he started telling people his name. Well, that way in Sweden, if they look for him, or they'd be looking for somebody else. And at that time, the merchant ships were owned by the government, so he violated the government policy. And his main reason for changing his name. And he had relatives by the name of Reeks in Minnesota. He worked his way over there, and when he got there, he still had the 7 cents he had when he left Sweden, and then after he had worked around there for a while, he got a job as a lumberjack, and he worked this way farther north until he got to Canada, and he actually homesteaded in Canada.
He did? I didn't know that.
And if you didn't live on the homestead, you had to live there a certain number of years, or you could lose it. But instead of living there, he came back to Minnesota, and then he lost his homestead there. But our theory is that he homesteaded there, so if there was any questions asked, he migrated from Canada and not Sweden. So it took a lot of planning, and he was apparently thinking about this, because in Sweden it was a terrible way to make a living. Everything was owned by the government, and he had a terrible time in school, which I guess every pupil did. He had a man teacher that he had turned against, especially after the man teacher told him to look in the furnace and see what was wrong, and he got kicked behind him. Hurt his face, a little in his head, and he hated that teacher. So he never had any time for men teachers. So there's probably a lot of this I haven't heard, that I'm still curious about myself. But anyway, we worked around Cosmos and started going with a girl, and then he had saved enough doing as a lumberjack to get her start farming, and then he married our mother. And so it turned out there's 9 of us boys and 1 girl. But he's gone now, and so I guess it's kind of fun to reminisce about it, but that's about enough for reminiscing for now.
I hadn't heard the part about the ship. I didn't know that he ran from that.
Oh,
Yeah,
he
then I
came
heard
as a
that, yeah.
stowaway.
Yeah, he had missed out on, or skipped there, him and two others. And, they had all changed their name, but whether, my dad told me he never heard if the others got caught and sent back or not. So that,
Well, it was at a rebellious time of the Swedish government too.
oh, yes.
Where the
it was.
king was extremely,
The king was taking more control and higher taxing, no matter how much hard you work. The more you earned, the bigger percentage of money you had to turn over. So everybody was on starvation wages.
Well, do you remember those relatives of ours, Beckmans and Nordquist?
Yeah,
The two, Mrs. Nordquist and Mrs. Beckman, their parents put them on a ship for America when they were 16 years old.
yeah.
And they just sent them over here.
And they were shifted for themselves, and Beckmans and Nordquist actually did pretty good, because those men went to Alaska panning for gold, and they made good on gold. So we figured they were the rich relatives.
Yeah.
When Dad didn't dare to contact his family in Sweden after he got here for a long time. did he?
No, not until there's a different ruling over there. The rulings changed, and then he wasn't afraid to do it. But he had let his sister know about this, but not his folks.
Oh, his sister knew he was gonna leave?
No, after.
Well,
Oh, after.
afterwards,
Oh, after.
he wrote to her, but he wanted her to keep it a secret,
Oh,
because he didn't want to take a chance on his folks having sent back.
oh, okay.
So I think I understood that he felt kind of bad about the way he treated his folks, but I'm sure his folks would understand if they seen how much better he had it here.
Mm-hmm.
And he always had a high respect for government and voting when he got here.
I bet he did.
He appreciated,
Voting was pretty important to him.
oh yes,
If he was in the hospital, he had to get out to vote.
Well, did they tell you that Dad came over as a stowaway
yeah,
on a boat?
they were concerned about him. The
Yeah.
family when I went over into Sweden, and on the back to that stone, because I was right on the home
Yeah.
place, it is not the stone that Andy and Ruth came back with, or the picture of it, let me put it that way. That was, you can tell that it was more of a professional etching into the stone than the one, but they knew that they were coming. This one was, and it had John Elcott 1902.
well, they had redone that stone then.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
It wasn't the one I saw, that Andy and Ruth, unless the stone was etched, it was professionally done.
But
Which
they
is
had a-
beautiful, but the one that I saw was the original, and they showed it to me. When I went right to the home place where the sister, what was her name? She looked a lot like Sally. Dagny. And that's what we had outside that house, and then they had kind of a little shed, and this is the stone. And they said, this is what your dad carved on. And right before he left, so it was John Elcott, 1902. I did take a picture of it, but none of my film turned out. That's a crap of it all. But I went to their home cemetery too, where his mother and dad were buried. And with the family there. I did meet like all his cousins. And I think I had sent you guys all cards that Nelson and I had done together. I wrote, and then I explained to each one, now this is so-and-so, he's that age and what he did, and so on and so forth. But on the farm where they thought, for you people on your dad's farm, why in Sweden, you left the farm, but each one that had the farm, then everyone would have a country home on that farm. They never left. Because